Hey everyone, and welcome to the first game of the first ever modded tournament in Bozocow. I think that's pretty cool. Really excited that this one's getting started. Its name is the Jaraci Cup, of course. We picked the name to be like the, that's what they call the prime anomaly, because the guy who detected it was from Kith Jaraci. I don't know. Lore. We don't really care about that kind of stuff here, to be honest. But yeah, it's the mod being made by A-Game primarily. I say primarily, it's really just him. Big thanks to everyone who's been involved in this process, by the way, all the testers, obviously SSSS for the more maps mod, Majir for subsystem, and then A-Game and Discara too, I'd say, for very thoroughly testing all of this out and trying to see how they can improve the gameplay. And now, finally, we're having a tournament running it, which I think is really cool. Just another clarification, this doesn't replace the Karat Cup, that's still going to be running. But we're gonna have both of them going now, so there's like a modded scene and an unmodded scene, I guess. And we'll see which one people tend to enjoy more. I think vanilla is just more accessible for like newer players because they don't have to download anything. But I really think the mod improves the gameplay. But we'll have to see what people think, though. Should actually focus on the match, perhaps. This is gonna be me, Bozocow. You know this guy. And the format for this turn. Oh, and FrostyTeeth, by the way. Sorry, no prejudice right here. He's playing Conf, I'm Galzian, and I was thinking to myself before this, I normally go Conf to match Conf, but this time I think there's actually enough particular advantage in playing Galzian that I want to play as them instead. And I was a bit worried that he'd try to blast drone me, so I put the scanner out there, but I was like, well, the only thing that's a little worrisome is if he goes production cruiser out in the opening first. But he probably won't do that, and then I saw him there and I was like, oh shoot. So I am actually a little bit nervous about that in the early game because I know that he's got the blast drones potentially as well. And my units were a little bit split up right at the beginning, but right here I'm feeling pretty confident. I feel quite safe at this point already. It's just that right at the very beginning, like when my skimmers are still a little split up, there's potential that he can maybe, focus down on one of them. Speaking of which, here we got a little fight and Frosty's on the retreat, so he's not going to be able to focus fire. I'll take out one for nothing there, but I might lose it on the back end. He wants to push in, but I can use this lower health unit as well to help me out, so I'm going to be completely fine there. Let's talk about the format just a little bit here. The tournament is going to be a round-robin group stage now to do the qualifiers, and then we move into the upper and lower brackets. And we do have 16 players, so that's a lot of games for me to cast, but more importantly, it means there's an upper bracket and a lower bracket that are both going to be 8 players. So, by the way, this is a little sloppy for me here. You see I left that guy kind of a little bit exposed there, and so he was able to chase him down, get a free kill right there. The blast drone nearly took out some as well, but they have a lot of fall off now in the mod, so you need to get a little closer to be able to do the damage. So blast drone not taking out any casualties there, but I think he did do a pretty good job microing there, and he's kept this pretty much even, but he has the middle artifact spawn. So I was actually saying in game to myself, and I recorded this too, so you're going to hear it eventually, that I think he's a little bit ahead at this point, but not by much. It's almost intangible, in fact. I'm thinking maybe I can get a bit of damage on the base front, especially if he moves down on the south, because the carrier can be, a pretty good protection against those sand skimmers. But he's going to keep his sand skimmers with his base runner, so no potential there. One thing I was really actually quite worried about here was that he was going to do some nasty, like assault ship shenaniganry with the production cruiser out in the middle. He's going to clear out the scanner, which I think is a really good move, because then I can't tell where it is. Last I saw the production cruiser was over here somewhere, and now that I'm up here with the sand skimmers, I don't see it. And there was smoke popped in the base drone, so I backed away because I thought there was going to be a blast drone, and there actually was, but look at how narrowly I missed the production cruiser. Oh, it's almost like, oh man. That's very close. I very nearly saw this guy, but I did not actually know he was there. But I think it's worth noting we're both on assault ship tech at about the same time. Mine's actually coming out, oh no, a little bit behind his, but just barely. So I don't know where that production cruiser is, but I still feel quite safe, and I have refinery mode on the way. He does too now, but it's going to be quite a bit later. And I can maybe get a bunch of damage dunked on this base runner here too now. Extraction comes out for me, just as it did for him, so we're both on 1 at extraction. And he still has field control, I would say, because of this assault ship, but he won't have it for long if mine gets in there. And he's getting refiner mode, so he can't get any of the armor upgrades either. So I'm going to be getting that, but that's a luxury he has not got. Quite a bit of damage done to the base runner. That's probably going to be impactful later on, but not just yet, as I don't have a way to get to it. But I'm feeling like my main and my second are protected enough that I can move my sand skimmers around on the flank here and see if I can do some damage in the back lines. And hopefully this prompts his assault ship to back away, which would give me some more field control. I can also see all of this going on, by the way, with the scanner there. Frosty's going to scout me. That's good for him. So I'm just going to try to pick him off with the sand skimmers. Now I'm trying to talk about the tournament format, but stuff keeps happening. So basically, there are, you know how like the World Cup runs, how it's like there are group stages with 4 teams in them, and they play each other twice. That's how we're doing it. And in the World Cup, you know, they have one team will how do you say? One team, like, you'll play on the one team's like home soil, and then you'll go to the other team's home like arena, you know, and you'll play on theirs. Sorry if I'm not using the right terms for this. I'm not really the biggest soccer guy, but anyway, we're doing like a similar thing here. So I pick a map and Frosty picks a map, and this is Frosty's map pick here. So the next one that we play is going to be my map pick. And then also, it's not going to be like either you won the series or you lost the series. It's like either you have 2 points in the series or you have 1, or you have 0, right? Just based on how it goes. So every win is important here. It's not like a best of 3 series where you either advance or you don't. So you're trying to accumulate as many points as you can, in other words, to advance through the round, like the qualifier stage. And then whoever has the most points will go up to the upper bracket. Whoever has the least will go down to the lower bracket. So that's the idea. Airtech, you can see already finishing for me. Interestingly, Frosty's gone for rails instead. And I saw this in game. I was like, oh wow, it's a railgun. And he got the armor upgrade too. Actually, just right then. That's pretty interesting. So I was like, oh man, he's not going for air. This is what I was expecting, is this kind of typical, you know, meta, okay, we go Assault Chips, then we go air and stuff. It's kind of like a natural progression. But I was pretty pleased to see that Frosty was mixing this up a bit, because I'm a little bored of that, honestly. We do it quite a lot as Galzian versus Conf. Or indeed, Conf versus Conf happens a lot in that too. You see me completely failing to micro my production cruise this year. That's just Bozocow things. But yeah, I'm feeling quite good about this. I have armor 2 on the armored units. He's got armor 1/1 on and scan scares. Ooh, see, that I think is not really particularly good, is it? Because he's got, like, he can't specialize. He doesn't have any specialized units here. Anyway, my air units are going to come in and just do damage to that production cruiser because they're guaranteed to hit him and then back away. There's a lot of anti-air here. I don't want them to get killed. But I'm thinking if they can do enough damage to that production cruiser, then my assault ships can come in and finish him off. And I wasn't microing them particularly well, so they hung back a little bit too long, but they'll be able to crest over this dune and take him out, I would rather think. Or, I mean, I actually know this is true. I played the game, but you know what I'm saying. So even if these guys both go down, that was definitely worth it. I really like this. I like this assault ship out here in the corner. Frosty probably wants to move it further in, but still, it's a really nice touch to just like take 1 or 2 units and just move them out on the side and put pressure on your opponent that way. That's something I think Frosty's been getting better at recently. In some of our warm-up games, he did that too. Well, he's going for railguns already. I feel like Siege is not a bad idea, but I want to delay it first to get precision bombers. That was my idea here. So that's me teching into precision bomber tech right now. Now I do know that I'm ahead here. I definitely feel very comfortable because I'm on 3 bases. My opponent's at a max of 2 because he lost a production cruiser there. So he's going to have to replace the production cruiser, and he's going to have to get up onto a 3rd base before he'll be on even footing with me. Just gonna send these interceptors in here to take out the assault railguns now. Afterburner's on the way, by the way, but it'll take a little bit of time to finish. This guy's straying too far. No, but you can still definitely tell I should be microing them a little bit more than I am. I'm not very good with air units. I think it's no secret by this point. And I did see the assault ship here. I think when I was flying out with the air units, he's actually gonna back away. It looks like. But yeah, I can't totally kill him with the missiles that I have. Interceptors have been nerfed a lot in the patch in that I think in some ways they actually perform better, but in this type of role where they can dump so much damage before they have to go out, they're not as good because they only have like 3 missiles in them, whereas before they had 6 or something. It's totally crazy. Like you can pull off the weirdest air snipes with interceptors, especially in 3v3s in vanilla, but in the mod it's a little bit harder to do because they don't store as many missiles in them. So Siege Cruiser Fabrication is coming out now. I have the bomber tech ready, and my carrier is also freed. I've got 3 production cruisers out. So I figure I'll just use it to clear out the assault ships and get the field control definitively, and see how much damage a bomber does. And bombers are much better now in the mod. I can't remember exactly why. I need to look at the patch notes for it. I think it's mostly to do with cost and then like a bit about their weapon. But they're really just kind of underwhelming in vanilla, unless you're in like a certain type of context where they can just be ridiculously good. It's sort of weird that way. But in the mod, they're much more consistent. They're very good units, but they're not totally oppressive. Even so, FrostyTeeth, I think, giving a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to seeing them, where he's going to make a lot of missile ships here. And that typically is the good thing to do against bombers, because they can clear out the missile ships more easily. But I think he makes a few too many of them in this game. You can see I'm getting my my air upgrades too, which is something you can only do when you get bombers, so we don't often see them in the game. And they're really good upgrades, but I'm not sure if I needed them here because I'm not going to focus on air as much as I would in other games. I think I even get the ammo capacity upgrade, but it's kind of like, yeah, but why, you know? Got some complex juking and jiving of missile ships here as I try to get in and see if I can just take one of them out there. I didn't realize he had another one hiding in the eco though. I was like, oh gosh. But he's also got an assault ship here, and he has an armor upgrade for the missile ship, so this is sort of a foolish adventure here. So I'm hoping I can just kill off this one missile ship, but like, look how long it takes. It's very long to kill off a missile ship like that. And Frosty, I think, just tech to armored unit defenses too, so this thing is very hardy. Toting 8 armor. And then this here was pretty much the worst thing I could possibly have done, but I told all the air units to dock right after like the interceptors made their first pass, so basically I got them killed for no value, which was a little funny. Oh, does that guy make it out? No, he doesn't. Yeah, I was kind of choky, but that's fine. You can definitely tell though there's still a lot of pressure on FrostyTeeth, and I'm up on 3 artifacts here with complete field control, so he's still not going to be feeling good about it, even if he does take a pretty good trade with the air units. So I've got the range upgrade coming out on siege cruisers, but even in the mod this takes forever to finish. The big problem with the range upgrade is actually fleet capacity. That's what I've decided. Like, if you ever go for the range upgrade, which you often want to do when you're teching into what do you call them, siege, right? You have to like find a way to do it without losing fleet capacity, because that's also tied to attack, and this thing takes like 110 seconds. So often what I've had to do is like tech up to fleet capacity above what I need and then get the range upgrade. Especially because I'm like notorious for being fleet capped, right? So you know how that would go. Barrage coming down there on the units, it's slightly effective. Does kind of force them out though to where they can't be covering that production cruiser, and the assault ship should be able to finish him here, although I realized after I kind of mismicroed the bomber here that he was going to have to die, which was a little bit sad. But that production cruiser is very low. If I can just get a little bit more damage onto him, he'll be dead. Oh, say it ain't so, I didn't get him. I actually thought in game that I had. That's funny. Man, 290 health on that guy. Although I can't really complain too much. I did get a pretty nice production cruiser snipe earlier in the game, so you win some, you lose some, yeah. But yeah, I know Frosty's gonna have to be moving his units around constantly. There's just, you know, the siege cruisers everywhere. I say siege cruisers everywhere. There's only one, but still, its impact is pretty noticeable. Barrage comes down on the mining location here, and I notice there's only 2 CU collectors anyway. Third base completely uninhabited, so even though Frosty has pretty consistently kept up his number of production cruisers, he can't keep these bases full because I'm just pushing him back and forth everywhere he goes. You can see me now here on the main doing some damage as well. I do kill those 2 guys there with the barrage, so now he's finally up on his 3rd, but now his main's empty, and his 2nd has been ravaged as well. He's having a hard time at it. And if he stands still, like on this hill here, he's going to start taking a lot of barrage damage. Although the Galzian siege cruiser does not do as much damage on its barrage as the coalition one does. That's one thing I've noticed. This is a little bit of a misplaced barrage, isn't it? It should be like right there. And now that the range upgrade is finished, I'm sure I can fire from that far away. Oh, this barrage is going to be quite good, though. I've got to say, Siege looks really cool, too, doesn't it? I think they did a really good job with the aesthetic of, like, the Siege. As you can see, there are assault ships galore out on the map now. Frosty, I think, is teching to Siege. Yeah, he's actually already teched to it. Oh, he's building it. The thing is, Siege doesn't do him too much good here, because as long as I can keep vision on him, I can just like kind of, you know, move around to like other parts of the map, and he'll never be able to actually do anything with it. For some reason, I sent my air units in here on kind of like a suicide mission. To be fair, they are very clumped up, so the bomber, as you can see, is going to do like mega damage. But he is definitely going to die. I feel like I didn't need to send him in like that. Just kind of sent my arenas to their deaths, but I do clear out everything Frosty's got left on the field. Now, Assault Ship's in here in the back lines. There's going to be some more coming up on that side. As you can see, I've got quite a few of them. And there's like 3 siege cruisers out now. So at this point, the Gaussian carrier can definitely tank the damage and kill off this Con F1. Con F siege cruiser now using its barrage ability. This has been nerfed a little bit in the mod, mind you. Actually, quite a bit, I think. But yeah, the other real problem is that he has to stand still to fire it, and so these guys can just use their indirect fire and kill him while he's standing still there. The real damage here is being shelled out actually by the Con F carrier now, which is using its missiles quite effectively against the siege cruisers. Again, same thing with the barrage. If I want to use it, I have to be standing still. But really it doesn't matter. I mean, like, the carrier is going to be what kills him in the end here, I think. So yeah, you can see I'm backing away so that I don't hit myself with the barrage, but I mean, yeah, even without the siege cruisers, I can definitely just kind of follow him with my carrier and kill him off, so that'll be the end of our boy Frosty. But he fought valiantly indeed. So there you go, first ever tournament mod game, which I think is pretty cool, like I said. And we did play our second one already. There are 2 games that you play, like I said, in the round robin, but they're not really a series, so I'm going to be casting them separately. But Frosty and I did play our second game, so I'm just going to go ahead and cast that one right now as well. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in that video.